Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make a crossback romper that looks like a two-piece romper from the front but has crossing straps in the back. Now let's get started! I'm going to be making this for my Build-A-Bear Coco, but it will also fit any similarly sized stuffed animal. The materials you'll need are some pins, sewing scissors, elastic or a rubber band in my case, and your fabric. And you'll also need a sewing machine. Here are the patterns I'm using. If you would like to recreate this with my measurements, here are the measurements I used. You can just pause the video here. I also want to point out that you need 2 of pieces 1, 3, and 6, so I'm first going to fold my fabric in half. We actually want them to be mirror images of each other, so folding it in half is perfect for this. Now I'm going to place piece number 1 on, and I'm just going to pin it down and cut it out. And then I'm going to repeat that for pieces 3 and 6. When that's done, I'm going to move on to piece number 5, and I only need 1 of these, so I'm going to put it on a single layer of fabric and repeat the process. I'm just pinning it down and then cutting it out. Now that all your pieces are cut out, I'm going to set all of them aside and just focus on pieces 1 and 2. First, I'm just going to separate them, and I know you can't really tell with this fabric, but I want to place them good side to good side. With my fabric, it doesn't really matter, but you just want to place the side where the pattern looks best on the inside. So I just put them together, and I'm just going to pin right along this curve, and that's where we're going to sew a straight stitch all the way up. When I'm done, I'm just flipping it over to the bad side, and now I'm going to hem the bottoms. So I'm going to fold over this bottom edge twice, so there's a nice clean edge on the inside, and I'm going to pin that down and repeat on the other side. I'm also going to do this to pieces 3 and 4, folding up the bottom edge of the bad side for both. When I'm done pinning them all down, I'm just going to do a straight stitch right along the bottom. After that, I'm just going to take pieces 3 and 4 and flip them good side onto each other, and we're going to do the same thing we did to pieces 1 and 2. I'm just going to pin them down right along the curve, and I'm just going to do a straight stitch right there. Now I'm going to hem the top of this piece, but we're going to have to feed our elastic through it eventually, so I'm just making sure that the elastic will fit through it. I'm just pinning this down first, and then I'll do a straight stitch to close it up. When that's done, I'm going to attach a safety pin to the end of my elastic, or rubber band in this case, and this is just so that I can keep track of it when pushing it through the fabric. So I'm going to put it in one side, and I'm just going to push it through little by little, and it'll get scrunched up, and I'll just pull it down, but make sure to hold on to the other end of your elastic so it doesn't get lost inside. After that, I'm just going to safety pin the 2 ends together so it stays in place. Now I'm going back to that first piece we did, and this is going to be the front of the pants, but we have not hemmed the top yet, and I want to make sure that it's exactly the same height as the back of our pants, which is why I'm stacking the 2 pieces together and just folding the top till they are equal in size. And now that I know how much to fold down, I'm just going to pin this in place and do a straight stitch all along the top. After that, we can finally put the 2 sides of the pants together, so I'm just laying the front and back good side to good side, and then I'm just pinning the sides together and doing a straight stitch straight down on each side. After sewing that, we can line up the inside of the pants, but here's where I realized that I made a mistake cutting out my templates, and so the measurements I showed you were right, the templates I used were just wrong. Because of this, the 2 edges I'm trying to line up are not matching up, but that's okay. I just had to do a little folding and it fit, and I'm just going to do a straight stitch right along there. When that's done, the pants part of your romper is done, so now we can move to the top. So here's piece number 5. I'm just going to hem all along the sides, curves, and neckline, but you don't have to do the top or the bottom. So here I am doing that, and I'm just going to fold it over once to make it easiest. When I'm done pinning all this down, I'm just going to do a straight stitch along all those edges to hold them in place. Now that that's done, we can move on to the straps in the back. Here I have the long rectangle pieces, and I'm just going to flip it with the bad side up, and I'm going to fold in the edges and pin them down. Then I'll just sew a straight stitch on each side from top to bottom. After that, I'm just going to go back to piece number 5, and now we can pin the straps to the shirt. To make sure they're sewn on at the right angle that the straps cross in the back, I'm basically placing the straps good side to good side on the shirt already in this X shape, so that once we sew it on and flip it over, the straps will cross just the way we want in the back. Now I'm actually going to place the whole outfit on Coco, And this is so I know where the straps in the back will sew onto the pants. So here I am just going to cross them in the back, and I want them to go from the shoulder to all the way to her opposite hip. So that's where I'm pinning them down. And I'm just going to tuck the extra strap into the pants. Once it's all pinned down, I'm going to take this off of her and sew it by hand so you can't see the stitches as easily. Once that's done, I put the whole outfit back onto Coco, and now we have our last step, which is hemming this top part. As you can see, it's super long right now, but I want to fold it enough that you can see just a little bit of her stomach to look like it's kind of a two-piece romper. So I'm going to fold this up quite a lot, and I'm going to just fold it over twice to make the edge clean, and I'm going to pin that in place, and then just do a straight stitch right along there. After that, we are almost finished. We just have one problem, and that's that this top part is just kind of hanging on her body, and I want it to be a little more secure in the back. So I'm going to kind of pull the sides of the shirt all the way to the straps, and I'm going to pin those in place and go in with a needle and thread and sew it by hand. After that, your outfit is done. So I'm just going to show you how I put this on Coco since it's a little bit tricky. So I just have her go in feet first, and I'm keeping the straps in the back. And then once it goes all the way up, I just kind of tuck her arms under the straps, and then it's on. Then I just adjust everything to make sure it looks good. And I also forgot to mention that you can sew together the straps in the back right where they meet, so right here. But I didn't do that because that makes it a little harder to get the romper on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!